The bouncing bullet sniper in Bloons TD6 just keeps getting better and better update after update, and I absolutely love this tower. Now, if you've been following the channel for a while, or if you've been just playing, these more difficult maps, like for example Geared or X Factor or something like that, you've probably used the bouncing bullet sniper strategy yourself, and you guys probably realized how strong this tower is. Well, Ninjakiwi is making the bouncing bullet sniper even that much better. So what's the deal with this tower and why is it getting stronger? Well, it's not exactly that the bouncing bullet really needed that much of an adjustment, but it's that other towers are getting nerfed. So first off, let me go through the changes and why I'm saying that this tower just keeps getting better. In update 44, the price of the bouncing bullet got reduced from 3200 to 28. In update 42, the price got reduced even further from 28 to 2400. In update 43, the shrapnel damage got increased if you cross out with the top one, so that's not exactly what everyone does, by the way, but it's still a buff. And then in the latest update, the price is going down again from 2400 to 2100. That's on medium mode, but again, this is a huge price reduction. So if you're taking a look at what's happening in the span of just a handful of updates, this tower went from 3.2 to 2.1k, which is absolutely crazy. It's about a 35% price reduction. Okay, so just to go back to the game for a second, I want to place Ezili down as fast as possible, so I'm going to remove this, and I hope I don't regret it, because we're going to have rounds 14 and 15 incoming. So let's see if we can defend like this. We only need $650. Yeah, you know what, actually this one is not going to be a problem. It's probably going to be the next one, but I don't want to be buying Ezili. You know what, I'm just going to place her. Let's have her like this. Let's have her on strong, because we're going to have some pink balloons in this one and some fast yellows, and the sniper isn't strong as well. So let's just start it around like this, and hopefully the engine and the dart are going to clean up at the back. And in come the pink balloons and the yellows, so I'm going to need you guys to defend this thing. Let's switch the sniper to first. No, that's a little bit too much actually. Alright, so let's delay Ezili just for a single round. Let me buy the pin upgrade and let's see if this is going to make any difference. I feel like it will. Maybe just have this guy on last as well, so he hits as many balloons as possible. We also have the first tier upgrade, which is going to give it a lot of pierce. Let's see if this is going to be enough. So go like this. It's a lot of fast balloons, but I think this might be it. Switch the sniper to first. Yes, there we go. That was a good snipe on the blue balloon, and there it is. That's round 15. Okay, so now we can buy Ezili, set it to strong, and let's get the game going. Now, the reason why the bouncing bullet is getting changed is not because the tower itself needs much of an adjustment, but it's because other towers are actually, the towers that are good with it are actually getting weaker. And hold on, this is round 21, so let me actually buy this thing. Let me buy the double gun. I think I'm going to keep this guy on first, and then I think it's time for the shrapnel, so let's go like this. Yeah, there we go. So much better with this NG. And as I was saying, the bouncing bullet itself is not in need of an adjustment, but what's been happening with Geraldo is the Geraldo is the prime combo tower with the bouncing bullet snipers, and Geraldo has been getting absolutely destroyed in the last few updates. I'm going to make a Geraldo video separately so I can showcase all the changes. But yeah, the main reason why this tower is getting so good is because, well, Geraldo is weakening, at least the majority of the reasons, right? Now, I want to turn your guys' attention onto the price of the bouncing bullet, and then we're going to make a comparison to the previous version. So in this update, the bouncing bullet costs $2,200, and we bought this thing, the 022 sniper. I think it was on round 24. So I actually went back and checked when we're going to afford the bouncing bullet, and I think it's going to be in the early 30s, so around 31. And if we had the old price of $3,200, that would be 3.4k on chimps mode, and that would be in like the mid 30s, like around 36 I think it was. And if my calculations are correct, at round 31 we have the money with this, and actually my calculations for one round off round 30 is when we get the bouncing bullet. That is absolutely insane. And it's round 36, and look at how much easier the game is being made just by having this guy on the screen. And actually, you know what, I should have gotten the discount village before buying it, because it's a third tier. And now the good thing about the third tiers is that you can get a lot of discount on them. It's still a very expensive one, so it's actually worth it. Alright, so it's round 37, and let's start getting ready for some other towers. For example, I do want to be getting this thing. Like, this is going to be just like a 300 Berserker Brew Alchemist. I'm going to keep it as a 300 for a decent amount, actually, because this guy doesn't have a lot of attack speed, so the brew isn't going to be getting spent that fast. And it's round 39, and the Moab is going to be coming out in a second, but I actually want to be saving a lot of money for the Moab just because I want to have some options in how I want to react. And in comes the Moab, and the sniper is doing about like what, like 4 damage per shot. Ezili really didn't do that much, and we don't have money to buy the level 8 from Ezili, so we're gonna have to figure something out for round 40. And this right here is the Moab class problem that I was talking about, and oh my god, we still don't have enough money. I was planning to get the laser cannon actually, because this is a tower that we can micro in and out if necessary, so let's try and follow along the Moab like this, and let's see if this is gonna be enough. Oh, I know that we had like 4.3k, but a lot of towers just simply do not work versus this one, and is the shit. Yeah, there we go. Come on, guys. And as soon as these ceramics appear, you guys see the power of the bouncing bullet. This tower is so good. This Arling is unfortunately gonna have to, just stay like this. I don't think I'm gonna be upgrading this guy, but he probably saved the run actually. And let's see how we do versus 45 ceramics and then normal ceramics. After this one, these guys are super beefy and they are very much spaced out, so that means that the bullet does not bounce between these guys. And yeah, this is actually a difficult round for the sniper. Okay, so let me actually try and brute force this round, I guess. So I'm gonna buy the stronger stim just just like this. I'm gonna have the 420 crosspat as well, and let's try and micro the Dartling. Let's try and do as much damage with the Dartling as well. Like this guy, I know that bought him for around 40, but he seems to be, you know, doing at least something on these rounds as well. So ceramics left over, and yeah, oh my god, that's like so much better than last time. So it was only the alchemist, and now look at these ceramics, by the way. These are closer than the previous ones to each other, so the bullet can actually bounce between these guys and actually does so much better than last time. Look at this guy go. And 49, it's only gonna be the single bouncy bullet, which I'm gonna upgrade to. I'm gonna promote this guy to a supply drop because we're going for the elite sniper first anyways. We're gonna buy some small bouncy bullets as well, and Ezili is finally level 8, which is really important. I'm gonna have her set on strong because I want to target mob class balloons, and just take a look at the difference in damage. I'm gonna move the Dartling on the side, by the way, and take a look at the difference in damage that we had versus the mob around 40, and this one with Ezili attacking. Like this is just, look at how much damage it is. Like she popped it by herself. It's just so much damage, and the sniper is just taking care of the insides, and this Dartling is no longer necessary. And I'm just looking to get the elite sniper, which is, again, it sucks versus mob class balloons still. Like that's not like the strength of this tower anyways, but I just, you know, want to get the elite sniper. Then we're gonna go into some more bouncy bullets, so let's just get this one first. How are we doing around 54? 54 is actually an interesting one. So a lot of ceramics and mobs, these guys are very close to each other, which means that the bullets can bounce. They're doing a lot of damage, and finally we have the money for the elite sniper. And yes, there we go. So the next 3 rounds of small balloons are absolutely not gonna be a problem. I do want to watch 63 just because, you know, it's 63. Let's actually, you know what, let's actually buy one more bouncy bullet just because look at the price, by the way, 1.9k. That's super cheap, especially when you buy it under a discount village. So let's go like this, buy a single one. Actually, there's space for one more, so I'm gonna stop at 3 bouncing bullets. It's gonna be the elite sniper plus these 2 guys. They're under an alchemist, which is fine. I think I bought the jungle jumps from the village, and we're gonna stop with the snipers like this. Wave number 2 of round 63 incoming in a second. Wave number 1, I barely saw this guy. Same thing happening to the second one as well. And yeah, let's just move on with our strategy. Okay, so at the back I want to have the perma spike, but the perma spike is just gonna be like a safety net, right? So we know that when we reach these more difficult rounds, the snipers are not gonna be dealing with all the small balloons by themselves. So let's just go like this. Let's get the deadly spikes and the even faster production, which, by the way, this thing did get a little bit nerfed. And wait a minute, let me just use the level 10 ability on Ezili. Oh my god. And these 45 balloons, they're just a menace, aren't they? And just checking with you guys, around 75, so we can use the level 10 ability. I'm probably not gonna be using it, actually. I just want to see how we deal with the snipers. So a lot of PvP balloons in the same spot, but you know, the thing with these bouncy bullets is that they just bounce between each other. The sniper does a lot of damage to them. So even though we're talking about mob class balloons, they are actually not gonna be having any problems dealing with it. I know that like there's a 45 balloon that just made it all the way there, but trust me, these normal ones are not gonna be an issue. And yeah, there we go. 75 dealt with by the sniper, 76 as well, and we're getting super close to the perma spike. So after we buy it, that's when our game starts. Alright, so finally, perma spike, let me buy it, let me get an outcomes for it. This guy is gonna be like what, just like a 400? Is that's probably gonna be the better choice. So let me just buy the 40. By the way, 45 BFB, nah, not a problem. Let me get the berserker. Oh, we still don't have the money, just for a tiny bit. Okay, so level 10 ability onto the ZMG, just get rid of this guy as fast as possible, and then we're entering free play mode, and that's where we're gonna start doing our thing. Found 82 45 BFBs on this one, and let's get our setup started. So I'm gonna be doing this. I want to get the unstable concoction. Still not sure if the top or the bottom crosspath is better. I'm gonna go for the bottom one just because I guess that one used to be the better one before the top one actually added pierce to these explosions. So I'm gonna keep this gun strong and just take a look at what's happening with all these rounds. So the idea is that Ezili plus the unstable concoction, I might as well buy a second one. Actually, they're gonna be creating these explosions, and mob class balloons are just gonna be snapping just like that, but the small leftovers are gonna be dealt with by using the snipers and then essentially the perma spike at the back. And look at these explosions go. So I feel like one of these guys is not enough, so I'm gonna buy a second one. I'm gonna keep this guy on first, the other one is gonna be on strong. So for example, when there's like a BFB and a mob, one of these guys targets the BFB and the other one targets the mob, because the pierce on these guys is really not that good. And now let's take a look at these explosions. Round 84, a bunch of mobs and a bunch of BFBs actually in this one, and I want to see these guys explode. Look at the small balloons, by the way. So yeah, the snipers did buy us a lot of space in which we were allowed to buy the perma spike with all that space. So now the game is, I don't want to say outside of their hands, but because we don't have Geraldo and we don't have all these other supporting towers to help the snipers, the game is mainly gonna be in the hands of Ezili. I guess the unstable concoctions are just gonna be creating a mess, and then the perma spike. But let's actually employ some new technology. So let's first off go with the Mermonkey. I want to have a couple of symphonic resonance and alluring melodies actually. So let's start with one over here first. And now this is the idea. So as soon as these mob class balloons come out, they're gonna get sucked in by this thing. They are gonna get attacked. So we're gonna buy a lot of time for the unstable concoction, and then Ezili eventually they're all gonna go around her, so she's gonna be able to do a lot of damage to these mob class balloons, and then it's gonna buy us a lot of time to actually deal with the small balloons as well. So at least that's the plan. So I want to buy a couple of more monkeys as well down the bottom of the track, so maybe one like this actually. The problem is that we don't exactly have that much mob class damage once the balloons get past Ezili, but I can just stalling them in place is gonna be nice. So let me just buy the second Symphonic Resonance, and these, they are absolutely not gonna be an issue. We know that for a fact, but let's just watch the first round is gonna be around 90, and then around 91 I think we're gonna see a very big bang with all these BFBs, because I want to use the level 10 abilities. So as soon as these guys start getting sucked in, I'm actually gonna, let's switch it to first. Let's use the ability. This is a very nice combo because Ezili does DPS, and then the bomb path monkey activates the DPS. Yes, look at that on the side. I just really want to have some faster cooldowns onto Ezili's level 10 ability, but the strategy so far, guys, so far so good. We have some ZMGs leaking, so I'm gonna use the level 10 ability. Let's watch the explosion on this one. These guys are coded, and they just keep disappearing. And there we go. That's a bunch of ZMGs. So we have to be really careful with the level 10 ability onto Ezili actually. But around 93, a bunch of DDTs. Are we gonna suck in these guys? Yes, there we go. This more monkey at the bottom actually does a decent amount of work, because now we are gonna deal with these DDTs with the snipers. Actually, they're not gonna take away any perma spikes. That's really good. Look at this combo, guys. Look at how fun this thing is. More monkey gets them in the circle. Ezili just keeps attacking. The DPS gets procced. I love stuff like this so much. And actually, you know that this is a decent combo, because so far the perma spike only has 4,700 pops. Would you have guessed that this thing only has 4k pops? I wouldn't. I just checked, by the way. But let's actually deal with these ZMGs and everything else. So let's use the level 10 ability. Let's get some explosions going. Actually, we are keeping a huge chunk of these mob class balloons up there. Do we want to buy another like bouncy bullet or something like that? I think I want to buy one more. Let's just go like this. I mean, at this point, this is like diminishing returns onto these snipers, but I'm just still gonna buy just for fun. And let's watch the explosions onto the ZMG. So I'm gonna need these guys to start popping, but the problem is, well, we don't have any mob class damage, or at least not any serious mob class damage. This is where our perma spike is actually gonna start ranking up some pops, but this is a part of the strategy, I guess, as well. So yeah. Okay, let me buy one more Mermonkey. I might have the last one. Like this is gonna be a Symphonic Resonance as well, and then I do want to be buying a Sabo Ninja just to kind of slow these balloons down and buy time for Ezili and the abilities and all these Mermonkeys to kind of keep everyone in place. So yeah, are we keeping? Yeah, look at this thing, circles all around the map. We are keeping a huge chunk of these DDTs, by the way. And how are we doing? I think we're defending this. I mean, the perma spike, yeah, we're gonna lose a bunch of perma spikes, by the way, but I think that we're still fine. Let me just buy the Bloons Sabo, and we are gonna need to start thinking about saving up some spikes, because the strategy is doing well so far, but those spikes are not looking good. And you know what? Now look at this. I'm just questioning, do we have to buy some transforming tonics or something like that, because we are missing a decent amount of DPS, I would say, versus these big balloons. Yeah, look at all these CMGs just leaking. I think I'm gonna buy transforming tonic actually. Oh my god, so many of these guys walking in. Oh, I'm gonna have to buy the second one as well, it looks like. Do we use this? I'm gonna use the Sabo because the next round is 97, so we're not exactly gonna need the Sabo on that one, so I think this is completely fine. And you know what? 245 ZMGs, we are probably going to tank them, but I really want to save the level 10 ability for the next round, because I feel like we're gonna see more use out of it like that. And that's like almost the entirety of our spike pile gone, and I feel like this might be the correct choice. And guys, round 98, full panic mode activated. So let's start using all these abilities. We saved the level 10 ability, which I hope is gonna do us a lot of good in this round. I'm gonna use both the transforming tonics of the Sabo ability as well, and let's try to get rid of these guys as fast as possible. So I'm gonna need these explosions onto the ZMGs to actually go to town, and so far so good. So we're creating these checkpoints on the balloons, right? So we have the strongest balloons up top, then a little bit weaker at the bottom, and then on the right side, like the weakest, it's usually just small balloons, which probably means that this guy should not have been a Symphonic Resonance. We might have saved a little bit of cash, but actually the ZMGs are getting dealt with, so these explosions are actually doing well so far. Are we gonna have another ability? It doesn't look like it, but huge chunk of balloons. So let's hope we hold off these guys. I mean, the perma spike started this round with 87,000 pops, so it's at 91, so it's actually doing good so far. And I'm gonna need these explosions to go to town. Yeah, the perma spike pile is really thinned out. And are we keeping these guys in place? It's only the snipers. We're definitely gonna beat this round. It's just a question of how many spikes we have left over at the end, and it's really not looking good. I mean, we could have definitely gone a little bit better than this one, and I'm not exactly sure about round 100 watching this. In round 99, let's use all of our abilities onto these DTs, including the level 10 ability, by the way, because it's not gonna do anything on the bat because Ezili is still level 18. And let's try and pop these 45 DTs as fast as possible. So I actually don't even see them popping. That's the problem. I mean, I can see some of the level 10, just jumping between these DTs, but oh my god, round 100 is not gonna pop, is it? The perma spike pile is really thinned out actually. Okay, so let's watch Ezili's damage. She is doing a decent amount of damage to the bad balloon, but like overall we're just not doing that well versus this thing. So we might have some options with the $16,000, but this is not looking good, guys. Let's see how much the perma spike pile can do. Like the level 10 doesn't work, but how much damage does the perma spike do? Oh, wait a minute, it actually pops it. Oh, that's a decent amount of damage that we have saved up actually. Let me retry this for a second. Spike Storm at the bottom plus what? I wanted to buy the Brilliant. ice. We're missing about $1,000 for this thing, but let's see if a single spike storm is gonna do anything. I'm gonna micro the darling as well, I guess. I mean, if we get like 500 damage off of this thing, that's gonna be hit at least better than 0, I guess. And how much of a difference does this make? I mean, we are gonna have Ezili's level 10 ability in a second. We do have the Saba going, so as soon as the bad layer pops, we might be able to do some shenanigans onto the ZMG. So let's just pop this thing as fast as possible. This is probably the last thing to. Oh, wait a minute, we do get some of the DTs pulled in. I used the level 10 ability, but we're gonna need the ZMGs to pop. And are they popping? No, the full DT leaked. Alright, so here's what we can do. We can buy a first strike sub, and we have $200. Okay, so this is as close as it gets. Now, the idea with this one is that we know for a fact that we have enough spikes in the back to pop the bad layer, which means that if we time the first strike ability correctly, we might be able to wipe the entire bout with all the insights. And the problem is that this damage from the burn spike is gonna come out pretty much instantly by itself. So timing this thing is gonna be absolutely ridiculous. So let's use it now. Oh my god, I missed it. Let's try this again. So one more damage tick and then let's go. We pop. Oh my god, we pop. Oh, I think we have this actually. We have this. Yes, we do. I used the level 10 ability and I just paused. I completely froze because I wasn't sure if we were going to get this thing. But yes, we finally got this thing. And that's it. We get it done. So yeah, the early game and the mid game were actually pretty serious. I mean, pretty straightforward and very disciplined with the snipers into a permanent spike. But it eventually spiraled a little bit out of control. But all in all, it was a very fun game. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'm going to see you on the next one.